Good morning. We're live. And hi, everybody. We're just okay. How are we doing there? Oh, okay, curious. All right. So, hmm. All right. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Let me get everything set up here for you guys. Let me see if I can. They change it every time. So I'm looking here for the comments. Where are they? There. Ah, hello. I see you. Good. Oh, thanks, Nicole. A little bit of pot rollers and makeup. Yeah. Hi, Carol. Hello, Adriana and Larry and Cindy. And oh, thank you all for saying hello. And Karen, Calvin. Yeah, lovely to have new people here. And yeah, and I don't know how to pronounce your name, Crow, but yeah, hello. Oh, thanks, Calvin. I appreciate that. I love doing them. It's important. My tagline is "Together we are more." And so I just see so much the answer in connecting with one another. Hey, good morning, Carrie and Marie. Nice to see you. Okay, Lois is going to post a link in a minute with, if you don't, most of you know me here, but I know later, many of you that watch this later on YouTube or whatnot don't have a copy of your chart. So if you want to get a copy of your chart, you can go to my website. Hi, Tersa. And hello, Marie. Gosh, it's been a long time since our trip to China in 2006. That was an amazing trip. Let me just get my notes here. There we go. All right. Okay, let's see if I can keep on top of all this and see you all at the same time. Yeah. Okay. So Crow is in, oh, Carol. Okay. All right. Nice. All right. So I'm going to get started here because I have lots to talk about as usual. And my first thing is happy Chinese Lunar New Year and Solar Year. My wish for you is that 2022 be a year where you awaken to your highest potential. May the healing power of grace give you the courage to be the person you long to be in order to be happy. And let me add to that, to have peace. May your angels help and support you to stop running away from your fears. And may your guides guide you with the opportunities waiting for you to have the life to activate your desires. Okay, and so hello and welcome. It's so my pleasure to be here with you. If you've not met me before, and I know most of you here have, but many of you later have not, I've been involved now in the world of metaphysics and Feng Shui and Chinese astrology for, well, really my whole life, but specifically Feng Shui and Chinese astrology for 30 years. I've traveled the world to Italy and China and Hong Kong, Malaysia and Singapore in person to study with different masters. And I'm someone who, every time I took a class, I would have questions and the means would show up for me to take the next class. I still, though, here's an important key, continue to study every month with somebody, but now online. And whether it's a spiritual teaching or a metaphysical teaching or things, I continue to study because, granted, a lot of metaphysics I know and I teach, but individually, we're all different pieces of the pie and have different perspectives. And by joining, for me now, it's very important to join with teachers who have the values that I have so that I can somehow join with their values and help share that. So where am I different? I just want to say as well from some other teachers is at the core of my teachings. I'm not going to just give you activations or go do, buy this or do that. At the core, actually, of all of this is we are all connected energetically. And by understanding how we are all connected, you and your actions and your thoughts are some of the biggest pieces that we can add to the feng shui activations. And yes, I'm going to give you some activations today, and I'm going to do predictions, but we are all connected. So by doing the moon group, which I do for free for this year, full moon circle, right? Where we do a meditation and we look at what's inside of us blocking us to manifesting our best life, right? So these are things that I bring to the table, because by joining with like-minded people and bringing consciousness to the world, we are changing the world. You see, we live in a dualistic world. We could say even with yin and yang. But at the core, the teachings teach this, but they don't say it. We come from the Tao, which is one. We come from source. And the time that's happening right now with Water Tiger Year and Period 9 coming is we are to remember that we are all one, right? And so to truly change, you need to understand you are the core of the change, and that the process of having a better life is inner and outer work. I do feng shui all the time. As you can tell, this is a new room and a new direction, right? And I moved my desk around. You see different backgrounds. So the truth is, remember, and we reincarnate many, many times. Why? I think to learn to open our hearts. Right? It's not about the stuff. It's about, can we connect? And we are here in this lifetime, specifically as we enter into age 9, to learn how to connect. Why? Have you asked yourself too? Your soul is calling you. I know you guys are feeling this. Why did you decide to reincarnate at this time? Right? So those are things that I bring to the teachings as well. It is possible to see that in the charts, and by joining together with like-minded people, even though this is virtual, the goal is to lift you up. Yeah, hi everybody. So nice to see your comments. Hi Anne and Aman and Vicky. So also, I want to just say a couple things, okay? Because I'm going to talk a lot and I'm going to bring it up. I have two specific classes coming up besides the full moon meditation. On February 20th, there's Change Your Space, Transform Your Life. Now, while the goal of this talk is not to sell you stuff, it's to inform you. I cannot in an hour give you all kinds of stuff. Now, some of you may have taken that class before, but in this one specifically, even if you haven't taken it, I'm going to cover 2022 and your gua and how to see your gua, which is basic astrology, in the house, and how to work with that in 2022. So Lois will put up the link for that. I'm not going to do any coupons for that. It's $98. That's either worth it for you or not. It'll be recorded, but it is not going to be available for sale afterwards. And the next class will be in March, and it's a BOTC class, how to see 2022 in more depth through your chart. And also, this is last thing before I get into everything. This is the last year I'm teaching the way that I have been for the last 15 years, the practitioner's course. And it consists of 3 modules. And there's a lot of hand holding with me throughout the process. It's live and with me. And I only take 10 new students a year, and I have a couple spots left. And in August, we do 8 days of live. And throughout the whole year, I mentor you. I actually mentor you through the process of learning how to do all the steps with my team. So if this is something that interests you, Lois will put up the link where you can send us an email and contact us or find out more information. All right, 2022. This is the year to step up, people, because there's all kinds of portals open this year. And I don't have time to go into this, but if you understood the hexagram for the year, and if you understood like on February 18th, it's Water Tiger Day, month and year, and there's a Water Tiger hour, and Water Tiger is a spiritual pillar. Between all that, the portals to reach and connect to our higher selves has never been higher. And here's the thing, a peace and happiness does not come from stuff. It comes from transcendence, if you will, enlightenment. We're going into the age of fire. However, no one who is at a higher level of consciousness doesn't have abundance, but abundance might look different to them in different ways, right? There's peace. So this is a bumper year. And so every month I'm going to be here talking to you about things that you can do in actions and joining with us between this and the moon group, right? So there's no excuses. You don't even have to take a class. You can just come to these things and implement some of the things that I'm talking about. because we're going to work on doing the inner work, because manifesting often is releasing what's blocking you. And all of us were born in this lifetime with karma that has belief patterns that were unworthy or undeserving or things like that. And so part of that is doing some process work, and part of that is meditating, right? So the actions that you take this year will leap you forward for the next 12 years. Every month this year is an activator for the next 12 years. So this is Water Tiger month in the Water Tiger year. So what you do this month will have effects for the whole year. Next month is 2023. The next month is 2024. So this is where consciousness comes in, because a lot of us, our brain continues to work in subconscious patterns, and they're like highways, and we do the same things. And things to change, you have to change. So here, I'm going to say it now. Here's your action step for this month. All right, this is for all of you, no matter what sign you are. This is a 28-day challenge till we get together for the next Facebook Live, okay? Declare what you want. Declare it. Write it down, okay? You want better health? You want more money, okay? Right? Then do a clutter clear. And maybe every day, get rid of something that's blocking your way. Like, this is making room for new energy to come in. And we'll talk about that more in the class. And then commitment. The word for this month and this year is commitment, because you can declare, I want to lose weight, and you blow it off. You can declare, I want to make more money, and you don't have a commitment to the actions it takes to do that. And so what if every month you actually made a commitment, right? And so for me, I have different areas of my life. The commitment is, hi, Annette and everybody, so good to be here. If the commitment is, I'm going to walk more, right? I'm going to drink more water. It doesn't have to be big. You want to have more money? Maybe you should have a really good, where are you spending your money? Do you have 10 platforms that you buy, Netflix, Acorn, BritBox, et cetera, you know, because if you don't value your money, why is money going to value you? Like, there's so many ways that we could make commitments. So declare what you want, be prepared to do some clutter clear, and commitment. Every day, what are you committed to? Because what you are committed to is the actions you do every day. So if you're committed to being a loser, then what you know what I mean? Like, a lot of us have been or are there. We watch Netflix every day. We gossip. We're not kind, you know? So the actions you take this year are very, very important. Now, what's some global predictions that are happening? It's a very unstable year. Okay, so those of you who've been studying the different teachers and things, you know this, right? It's like the chart for the year that's based, every year a chart is correlates to the year, and we look at that for insights as to what's happening. And this has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. And so the Water Tiger year is very unbalanced. The wood is very strong, right? The water is strong as well, but fire, earth, and metal are really quite weak. And why is the fire weak, even though it's there inside the 3 tigers? And some of you, I know this, you'll get lost in this, but some of you are practitioners here. It's nighttime. So yang fire, which is what's inside the tiger, is invisible. So it's not there really. It can't grow a tree, right? And a tree, wood, yang wood, needs earth. The earth is so weak. So all the growth that happens this year is not supported by earth, right? It's kind of like floating trees. So what does that mean? And there's no metal, right? And so the water is strong. I'll tell you a little bit here, okay? I don't have time to go. I don't want to, it's too much to go through the whole thing, but let's go into the gist. The water is strong, which rules many things, which says there's a lot of fear out there, right? And if you were in my classes recently, emotional pandemic is now it's coming. Suicide rates will be higher. But if you know this, right, that, okay, my fear is going to be higher, my sense of uncertainty is going to be higher, and you wake up going, oh, okay, that's what's going on. I can handle this. Instead of expecting it to be different. It's like it's winter, right? I use this analogy all the time, and the seed isn't growing. What do you say to yourself? Oh, poor me? It's winter, okay? So this is what's happening. And here's the big thing. When we ask the existential questions, why is this happening? then you go, oh, as a soul, I incarnated now to be here. What is this here to show me? And I think here it is to show you that you are more than the stuff, right? Like that you can actually, can you tap into your love for yourself and for others? Because honestly, it is our thoughts that'll create more fear. This is where the work is. All right, so the wood is strong. There's lots of potential growth, but it's not supported. So if you're in the stock market and doing investments or other things, or even if you have a company, finding resources to support your growth is a big problem this year. All right, so be aware of that for everybody. So we're just going to have to figure out how to solve that or how to work with that differently. People's emotions will be all over the place because the water is very strong and water rules emotions amongst other things. And so it's everywhere, right? And so, and there's no earth to control the water. So the key to this year is managing your emotions. Okay, so I want you to really, because you're here thinking, oh, she's going to tell us how to activate stuff. I've just given you the key. The key is managing your emotions. How many of you know how to manage your emotions? And so these are things I'm going to talk about in the Moon Group, which is also free, because learning how to do breath in a way that it calms down your vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is the thing that gets inflamed when we're in flight or fright, right? Like in all that. And so taking a deep breath, slowing down, like catch yourself, manage your emotions, right? Meditate, go in nature, see that flower, and gratitude. Gratitude is so important, all right? So everybody, our emotions will be all over the place. Have a spiritual practice. I'm a Course of Miracles student. Every day I spend an hour in the morning working on my practice with meditation. This is something that has come to me through COVID. It has changed my life to have a spiritual practice. It could be for you yoga. It could be for you Tai Chi. It could be so many things. But look for the light, right? Because we are still in the darkness, right? That's what the purpose of all this is it's bringing up what's dark. So there's no metal in the chart. So there's no metal to chop the trees is one way to look at it. No self-discipline. There's no authority, which is metal, is out of control. Like all these ways to look at that, right? And metal represents government, and the government is power, and they're not in the chart, but the chart, another way of looking at this through the 10 gods, is they're out of control. So we're already seeing that, right? What happens when people feel out of control? Well, interest rates go up. Right? Like when we feel that our life is out of control, it means that things are happening that are controlling us. Well, the answer to those things is to not fear, and war is not the answer. Compassion and curiosity and kindness is. Because so we have to remember, we are the change. We have to be what we want. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things of no substance, right? I would say if you have investments and things like that, go into things that have value, not like NFTs. What is their real value? Things that have no value will drop this year, but things that have real value will do well, right? So those are the things way to look at the world. But if you are a company or person that can offer direction or help people control their emotions or help people grow but with substance, you will do well. But if you are just busy for the sake of busy, you're not controlling your emotions. Can you say no to distractions? Can you start, this goes back to commitment, right? What are you committed to? Years ago, almost 35 years ago, I was in a counselor. The counselor asked my husband and I to write down 10 things we valued and to come back to the next class with the next session with what that was. And so one of the things I wrote down was reading to my children, that I valued that. And my husband wrote down recycling. It was one of the things. I mean, there was many things, right? And then the counselor said, do you actually do those things? And both of us said, well, not so much. And he said, well, then you don't value it. Only what you do is what you value. And that was a huge aha for me, right? As to, oh, wow, okay, if I value kindness, like So what kind of world do you want to live in? Do you want a world with war and rules? Or do you want a world with kindness and compassion? Right? Do you want, what do you want? This is really big, guys, and I'm pushing that this month because this is the month to set up. Like when you declare what you want, what values do you want? I value kindness. When my teacher said years ago, one of my teachers, honesty is not kind. So I don't know if I value honesty, but I value integrity. See, honesty is, you don't look so good today. Or it's just, we're in a world that's, the stuff that happens in Facebook, the shaming and all that stuff, that's out of control stuff. And then people say, I'm just being honest. No, you're being a jerk, right? You value being a jerk. Compassion, kindness, integrity, those are things I value. Then I have to be them, all right? So people this year need direction, right? Because the water is all over the place. So are you able to give direction? Fire, it's there, but it's dark and there's too much wood. And there's a thing in metaphysics, when there's too much wood, the fire can't burn. And so it indicates that joy and passion this year, because the fire's there, it's there, but it's fleeting. It's not really, this is the year to set seeds for more fire, okay? Beware, yeah, hang on a minute. Yeah, people and businesses who offer hope based on spirituality particularly will do well for many, many years to come. So this is fire for you practitioners. Fire is in growth this year. You will not reap the real results of this for 3 or 4 years, but it'll peak then. So all the things that we do that are fire-based this year, we will continue to see results for years to come. Yeah, metal, there's no metal, no discipline. Interest rates are potentially, the predictions are, will go up 5 to 7 times this year. Are you able to handle that if that happens? Did we learn in 2008? Like the chart of this year is similar to 2008 because Earth Rat, which is the day master for this year, was the year pillar for that year. How much debt are you carrying? Right? Like how much risk? You know, like we have to really look at the choices we make and how we put ourselves and make changes, right? So have your habits changed since the last financial crisis, right? Like, because 30% gains in real estate and all that stuff is not sustainable. And here's the thing, if we're all connected and you make a lot of money and that person's really poor, it has an effect, right? And so I'm not saying, I mean, I like nice things, but I also recognize now I'm more conscious about how much I purchase and how much plastic I use and all those types of things and who I purchase from. So yeah, this is a year to really look at those things. So you might need to make some changes in your life, right? Like in order to create a new life. And so I've talked about this the last 2 classes. We are in the birth canal, creating a new story. What do you want your new story to be? Right? And this goes back to your values, because I'm going to tell you 5 houses or all those things is not what's going to make you happy. I have had teachers that I'm blessed over the years who put random people through university because rather than owning more stuff, they sacrificed their holidays, you know, and all those things. And so we are brainwashed people. And it's okay to have nice things, but look at the cost of what, right? What has to change? If you're creating a new story for your life, it's almost like we're reincarnating, seriously. Except we're not going through the process of dying to be reborn. We're going through the process of it this year. If you want to reincarnate and you are the king of the year and you want to have, what kind of world do you want? Do you want a world of peace? What do you want for your children? Okay. So yeah, I'm going to give you some activations at the end. I'm going to go through right now. So that's my soapbox lecture for the morning. I'm going to go through the 12 different animals right now. And then I'm going to go through some specific feng shui and activations that you can do. Each animal, so there's 12 animals, right? And of the 12 animals, let me just get this over here so I can see it better. Of the 12 animals, each one interacts with the year water tiger individually, and each day master as well. And I don't have time today to go through each of the day masters. I'm not going to do that with specific. We'll see if we get back to that next month. But each of the 12 animals interacts with the year. And it is far more powerful to learn about astrology if you understand the combinations and the clashes and the harms and the destructions and the penalties and the elements in relationship to your day master, which, you know, that's why studying Batsy, than to just go, oh, I'm a rabbit, I'm lucky, or oh, I'm a tiger, it's my year. Like, what does that mean? So I want to make sure that you understand that. For those of you that are brand new, I know those of you that are been around, you know that, right? So, but this is just fluffy stuff for fun, right? So I'm going to talk about the 12 animals. The rabbit. Start with the rabbit. I'm going to start, hang on a minute. Actually, no, I'm going to start with the tiger here. So the tiger, the year, this is for the month and the year to a degree, right? You are a tiger, and I have tiger in my chart, right? And so what it means is the focus is on you. And also, you know, there's a whole bunch of things we call stars. Right? They tell you a bit of the story, but you can have really bad stars, so to speak. But if the elements are good for you, like inside the tiger is yang wood, yang fire, and yang earth. If your chart likes those elements, no matter how good or bad the stars are, it will increase their positiveness. It is not enough to just say, oh, you've got the academic star, the Duke arrival star, right? You are the tiger. What is happening, because you are the same as the year, is the focus is on you. And this month particularly, and of all the signs, the tiger and the monkey are the two that need to be most focused on growth this year. Because inside the tiger, it's wood, it's your year. Jupiter is in your sign, right? It's like, so are you ready to grow? Right? And so, yes, you have really good potential if you are growing. What happens when a year happens and we don't respond to what the energies are that are telling us to do? Then it hits us. And why does it hit us? And this isn't actually a bad thing. I want you to reframe how you look at us. It hits us because I actually believe the universe is kind, because it wants us to grow. But unfortunately, so many of us, probably everybody, doesn't grow except through pain and suffering. So you could have a car accident, or you could have a huge expense. You might lose your house, but the opportunity, now I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but how many people have you heard have those types of things happen and their life changes for the better because all of a sudden they saw differently, right? So the tiger has a huge opportunity to grow, okay? Opportunities are there, but it's going to come with a lot of pressure, all right? And so the pressure, it's like you're riding a wave and everybody's looking at it. So if you're prepared to be a leader, if you're prepared to be what you do, you will be seen for. What do you want to be seen for? Your best months this year in general are June, October, and November, right? And then most negative months, now these are because, and I'll get more into this later, May, August, and November. So just things to watch for then, where like I have monkey and tiger in my chart, the two most volatile energies, if you will. And so I'm going to have more water. Like, so in order to cope, you need energy. How do we get energy? You need to eat properly. You need to manage your emotions. And I need to exercise, and I need to get enough sleep. So those things, if I manage and take care of myself and my spiritual well-being, I'm ready. Even though I'm 65, right? I'm going to be 65. I'm ready. I know how to work with this. I'm not worried. But am I ready for the change? Am I ready to transform? Yes. All right. So the tiger, it's a big year for you. It's your year. Are you ready? The key focus is to upgrade your knowledge, focus on the right connections, and ignore petty people, right? What brings you down? Because people are going to be talking about you because the spotlight's on you. So if you're a people pleaser, you're in trouble. If you don't know your own values, right? Come on. Like, and so this is where the declare comes in, where we started from, right? And those of you that are coming in late, the first part of my talk today, I think, is the most important part. Please go back and listen to that. Okay, the rabbit, right? Now the rabbit is has the sun star. So many will say, some say it's the luckiest star, some say, you know, it's not as lucky, but anyways, it's one of the luckiest stars. The sun star means it's a type of nobleman, it's a yang nobleman. You're most blessed during daytime hours and getting things done. But just because there's opportunities there for you with these stars, are you ready to say yes? Are you ready? There's no negative combinations happening with you with the tiger. It's like actually inside the tiger is yang wood, which to yin wood is a friend. We could say that. There are networking opportunities there for you. Are you ready to say yes? Because this is a year like this, this is the sun star is considered by some to be the most auspicious of all the noblemen, but it brings you popularity. Like, so if you can work with that and are ready to make changes, like, where do you see yourself in 12 years? All of you guys, where do you see yourself in 12 years? What needs potentially, if dreams came true, what would that look like, right? Because I think there's opportunities for you this year, Mr. or Mrs. Rabbit, to make some of that happen. Your most positive months this year, no, this is very general, guys, July, October, and November. And your most negative months are April, June, and September, right? But particularly in career, actually in all aspects of your life, you have great networking capacities to meet the people that can influence and change your life and support you. Okay, yeah, so key focus, expansion, growing, right? And working with others, finding people who can help you. So many of us, particularly if you are a Westerner, do not understand how to let other people support us. We don't trust it. We have issues. I mean, and we don't recognize the value of family or people helping us as well. Now, part of that, partly it's because we don't want to do that for other people. We just have these huge stories in our life. But really, wouldn't life be better if you had a community of people who supported you? Now, if you want to have a community of people who support you, guess what? You have to support them. And if that's a problem for you, that's where the inner work comes in as to where's that come from, right? Why is that? Because being alone does not get anybody ahead. The dragon. The dragon is going to have to focus. This is a year where you're going to be a bit challenged in the sense of where you, like, and I love one of the things I learned years ago. When there is, so only 33% of your luck is your chart. Okay, so this is not everything. This is just 33%. 33% is your feng shui, and 33%, I actually think more, is you and your thoughts. So the dragon, Marie, you are a dragon. The dragon this year has to make their luck. There will be emotional issues around you that potentially could take you down, right? And so the dragon has to is the wrong word, but the opportunity is to be the light for others. And you're going to have lots of opportunities to do that. However, because it's so interesting, right? Because there will be things around you that you're going to have to deal with. And what do we normally do then as humans? We separate, right? We separate, oh, I can't do that. That's too much. Nobody's there. We get into our victim stories or whatever. Now, the opportunity for you this year is to keep yourself resourced enough, take care of yourself emotionally so that you can be a resource for others, so that you don't close your heart in the process, right? And so best months this year for you are potentially August, September, and December. And January, we just finished January, March and October are the harder months for you, if you will. So where you're going to have to just look at your values and to be the light, right? To be the change. Now, how do you avoid negativity? Stop comparing yourself with others. Do you know that pain, this is for all of you guys, okay, only exists in the past or the future? Like if you can get to the present moment, because our thoughts are what creates our suffering. So if you're in the present moment and just in that moment, pain, if you have it or whatnot, disappears. I know this so well. I have all kinds of body issues, but they go away when I do my spiritual work, right? And pain is when I'm worried about something that might not even have happened, right? And so the dragon is going to have opportunities this year. Build connections with people who are lift you up and make you more successful. And yes, it says avoid negativity, but you know, sometimes we have obligations that we have to manage. And sometimes that means just spending less time with people that are draining us. The snake. So the snake has also a very favorable, of the four noblemen, the snake also gets one. So the rabbit gets one and the snake gets one. It's moon star, right? And so the moon is a problem solving energy as well. People can help you, but it's more yin. So it favors more activities at night. And so it's an interesting year for you. There's lots of opportunities for you, and you're going to be actually very popular. And so there's a tendency to say yes to almost too many things. And so don't be careful to not overcommit and to manage your energy. Communicate clearly and effectively so that because you're going to easily say yes, 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 and then you can't get it done and you don't tell people. The snake tends to be someone that doesn't always communicate easily, right? And so this is really an important year where you can learn communication. The moon star is really going to help you as well. A listening workshop would be great for you. And yeah, if you're trying to do a sale or a deal or something like that, evenings or nights are times. Dinner would be a better time for you to work with that. Your positive months this year are January is past, August and September, and your negative months, February, so here we are, and August and November. Now, why is February this month a bit of a challenging month? It's called a destruction. And actually, the year is also what we call a destruction. And so that's because the tiger's best friend is the pig, and the snake clashes the pig. And what that means is for you this year is this is where the communication piece comes in, because this is not only this month, this will be this year for you, is that your efforts will be misperceived and people will take maybe something personally that you're not meaning to give personally, or you'll take something personally and separate as a result emotionally from that. And I really think that the lesson this year as we go into period 9, which is officially here in 2024, but we've already been in it for 6 years, is for all of us to, like, so when we realize that we're all connected, we create a new world. We behave differently, right? We become curious and realize we have to listen to other people. So the snake, I think you are an integral part of that energy this year. We're learning how to listen and have compassion and understanding are key to you having the best 12 years for moving forward, because snakes tend to be loners. And you know, the snake will rest and wait, and then when it's ready to eat, pounce, and all at once, and then it rests and waits. And so this is more a year for you to not just wait, to have clear goals and to take conscious action each month towards getting them done. And if you communicate clearly and kindly, you will be fine. So the horse, yeah, yeah, it helps when it's a short month there, Manuela. Okay, so the horse has very popular stars this year, so it's popular and it combines with the tiger. So this is this month as well, and so lots of opportunities are coming for you. February, July, and October are your good months, if you will, and January, which is past, March, December are your negative months. Okay. But, and I would say in average, the horse is kind of in the middle as far as lucky goes, but because it combines with the tiger, opportunities are coming to you. And because it's kind of in the middle, there's a tendency to relax, you know, and kind of not put effort. And really all 12 animals this year, all of us as individuals need to make conscious action to change our lives. So the horse, if you have a plan, because the horses tend to be go, 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 and then stop, right? Like go, 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 join, have fun, make plans, and then they burn out and stop. If you have a plan and take one step at a time, it'll be amazing what you can accomplish. Be careful not to contribute to pettiness and gossips. Like we all know that there's people in your lives that drive you crazy. Don't talk about it. Don't talk to anybody. This is true for all of us. Never share anything with someone who has no ability to solve the problem. Otherwise, we're just bringing negativity into the world, right? And so the horse will have lots of opportunities to gossip. This is the year to learn to say no, because sometimes, like, if there's a lot of gossip around us, we have to ask, how did we create that? It didn't just show up, right? Because there's times, right? So this is the year for you to work on one step at a time, because you're going to be popular. People are going to want to spend time with you and do stuff, and people are going to want to tell you their problems. Now, if you're a problem solver, great. But think about this too, right? It's like when you're having these conversations, are you being the change that you want to see in your life? The goat. So the goats had this last year, and this last month, January, has probably been very tough on you with the ox, double clash. And also last year for you too has really been a year where you had to look at your values and who you are. And I know many of you that are goats kind of hid, and that's not the answer to do, right? For this is the monkey, right? But this year, but because it was too much, right? And it's okay to do that if you're doing real self-analysis and process. But I know my heart is with you. The last year has been tough. This year, you have some beautiful stars, and the goat has really actually lots of opportunities, and things will flow for you much easier. You will not feel like the world is against you. You will actually feel that you will have hope again. And here's the thing too, is years where we feel there's no hope are actually the biggest opportunities to grow, but we don't always see it that way at the time. The goat this year has lots of opportunities in business if you're self-employed. Particularly the stars show overseas opportunities, but interesting, overseas today, I have lots of overseas opportunities, and I don't leave my house. The world has changed. We do not need to travel anymore to have overseas opportunities. So, and the goat, be clear, this is the year for you. What is your heart calling you? All last year I was saying, what do you guys need to get rid of? All signs, right? In order to move forward. But this year too, now that there's less pressure, Mr. or Mrs. Goat, what do you need to move forward, right? The best months for you, March, June, and November. And the most negative one was last month, January, and then October, December. Okay, monkey. Okay, so the monkey is in for a big year because the monkey clashes the tiger. So if you are, and I have this in my chart as well, change is here. And if you're resistant to change, the world will change for you. However, how can you work with this? Well, if you know you need to exercise, go exercise every day. It's a good year to go on a diet. It's a good year. Where do you need to bring in the change? To change your financial patterns, to change the friends that don't support you to grow, right? To leave the marriage that's not helping you. Like anything that's solid won't be in trouble. But if you have stuff in your life that's not solid, it's going to get shaken this year, right? And there's 3 tigers in this year's chart for the year. So the monkey is really being clashed by 3 tigers. So I look at this as opportunity, okay? Now, you need to stay busy. Explore unconventional studies, meditation, spiritual studies, because you'll get distracted otherwise in thinking the world is against you. No, you chose this life. We chose the moments we were born. We have chosen everything that's happened to us. We are not victims. So when we can look at the world through that lens, everything changes. So yes, be careful. Don't take risks with your activities, right? And I wouldn't say do extreme sports or things like that. Like just be careful, drive, paying attention. I've said to several clients who I know are terrible texters and drivers who have monkey in their chart, don't do that this year. So what's the opportunity? Learn to be present, right? So yeah, monkeys, you're going to have a year. It could be great if you're up to the challenge. My best years in the last 30 years are the ones that showed up as challenges, right? Opportunities came. Yes, and other stuff happened too, but that's life. So the best months for the monkey are April, May, and December. And the tougher ones are this month, February, double clash, May, and November. Rooster. Okay. The rooster is also by many considered to be the luckiest animal of the year. Okay, it has what's called the Emperor and the Dragon Virtue star. So the rooster has very, very lucky stars. But luck, you know what, for a lot of people, it just means you get asked out for dinner more, you don't have to work so hard, you don't try to grow. Opposite thing. This is the year where you should actually work harder because you will get greater results for your efforts, right? And so very important energy to use. There are negative stars there as well. So yeah, you do have to work with that. Stay humble, right? Stay humble, have clear goals, and create a work-life balance. Your best months were January, April, and May. No, monkey has, okay, just a sec. Monkey's best months were April, May, and December, and the negatives were February, May, and November. You're going to have to go back for questions like that. I'm going to have to ask you guys to go back to this when it's up and listen to it later. Rooster's best month were January, April, and May, and the negative months, March, October, and December. Now, actually, I can get to some questions at the end as well, okay? Yeah, rooster. Dog. Okay, so the dog is, you know, it's in that stage of life, the dog, where you're going to have to make opportunities and you're sort of questioning everything, right? It is friends with the tiger. So that's, you know, a combination, like the tiger and the dog have opportunities. But the stars themselves, it's very good for, you know what, the energy is best for you this year and moving forward is, what do you need to do to be able to achieve the dreams? Like, do you need to study something? Do you, like I told a few people this year, you got to go to school, you got to go learn a language, you got to go do these things because they want things, but yet, oh, I want to date. Well, okay, what kind of guy do you want to date or girl? Oh, okay, well, do you need to change yourself to be that person? This is the year for the dog to take action towards the things that they want more in their life of. So work on creativity and enhancing your skills. Become better. Manage your competitiveness and your choice of words and your negativity, right? Because there's a tendency to be a little bit, and actually this is even the time to say this, so I'll say it again at the end. It's like to take sides and to separate, to see other people as wrong, right? We all just want peace and happiness, right? And we have to look at people as, we're not just the personality we've incarnated in as this life. And so the dog is really going to have to look at being a victim or not and to work through that. And when we separate, we stop asking for help. Ask for help if needed, right? And don't take it personally if ask the right people. But if you're having trouble getting help, where are you not helpful? Like every single judgment that we have in our head is a reflection of something else in our lives, okay? Yeah, challenge your limits, become better. The dog's best months. This is a good month for you. Next month is good for you, March, and then June, and then the negative months are April, July, and September. Okay, now I never let what I think is a negative month stop me from doing anything. And actually, to be honest too, guys, if you're asking what's a good month to make money, like what these good and bad are, is just that the flow connecting to your chart is there. So more opportunities will come to you. But if you get a reading, it is actually possible to see whether it's a romantic opportunity, a health opportunity, a wealth opportunity. Like all opportunities are not equal. The 5 elements in relationship to each of us is different. So please keep that in mind when I say positive and negative. The pig. The pig is best friends to the tiger. So of course that makes and if you follow some of the more superstitious types of astrology, there's the masters are saying everybody should carry a pig amulet, right? Because it's the friends to the tiger. And if you have a pig amulet, that it will protect you, right? Because it keeps the tiger busy and happy, right? From negative things. The pig has very, very positive stars, but it also has some negative stars. I would say the pig has to be very careful of being hasty this year. I say yes to opportunities for sure, because pigs, you're not often you procrastinate a lot because you think too much. One of the problems for pigs is they think too much. And again, this is just general, but they think too much, and thinking too much ends up being procrastination. So nothing really gets done. And you have a judgment often that you do something and it should be nice, right? And feel good. A lot of stuff we have to do doesn't feel good. We just have to do it, right? So because you don't, feeling is so important to the pig. When you don't feel good, you don't pay attention thoroughly to what you're doing. So if you're not paying attention thoroughly to what you're doing, you could get into trouble legally. So pay attention to your contracts, your obligations, your commitments. I'm saying make commitments, but be clear on what you can commit to and then follow through on them too. See, and the thing too, let me just, earlier I talked about commitments. Commitment is you fail today and you get up tomorrow and you try again. Declaration is you just fail and you give it up. It's like, remember the thing about values? Commitment is like, that's the difference between people who succeed and not. We all have bad days where we don't do what we said we were going to do. And commitment means tomorrow you get up again. So pig, have commitment to what's important to you, right? Because there's lots of opportunities for you there. So this is a great year to work on your negotiation skills, which means asking for what you want. You want a raise? Go ask for it, but learn how to negotiate. Seize opportunities and responsibilities. Focus on your investments. They should grow this year, but all people should be careful with high risk investments. It's much better. And remember, I talked about at the beginning, have investments that have value, right? That's what will do well. And make sure you're on time, being decisive and that you do what you follow through to say. Your best months, this month is good, February, March, and July. And your negative months, I got a mistake in my copy here, is May and August. Oh, and we could say almost November as well, because November is a self penalty. Just be careful. The rat. The rat is another animal this year that is going to have to reevaluate who am I and what do I want and what's important, and to make changes accordingly, because you unlikely, and we all have 4 animals in our chart, but where you will unlikely find as much happiness from the external world, and this is the year to work on your internal world, right? And so to learn, this is a year to do process work. Like, what from the past do you need to let go of? Look for positive people, to do spiritual work, and to be positive with other people. This is not a year to make great, I would say, yes, make changes in your life accordingly, but it's not really a year to quit your job because you think the job is the problem. Maybe it's the year to look at your role and become better. Like, what do you need to do to upgrade yourself so that next year can be a good year? And particularly 2 years from now. 2 years from now should be a very good year for you. So what if you wanted to, so a lot of people aren't happy in their jobs, and I suspect that might be for you this year the case. However, I would say that taking a course on the side so that you do the job that you love is what I would do this year. But also show up with what you're doing and be the best person there. Rats have a tendency that when they're on, they're great, and when they're not, they bring the whole world down. And so this is a year where you have to look at that and what type of energy are you bringing to the world? Where are you? How do you learn managing your emotions, right? This is the year, how do you manage your emotions? And I'll tell you, I had a year like this a couple of years ago, particularly when I came back from Egypt. And I went into a very dark place for a couple of months there, and a whole bunch of different things showed up in my life too. And this is all prior to COVID, and then COVID happened. But what happened is I learned, it showed me clearly who to reach out to, what type of process work, counseling, or different things I needed to do to release issues that were bothering me, how to manage my life differently. And every time I reached out and connected with my higher self, my spiritual self, I was not alone. I saw that clearly. And so the opportunity for you this year, Rat, is to find your soul and to connect with your higher self and those values and to work with that moving forward. Last but not least is the ox. And so the ox is a popular animal this year because it has what's called popularity stars. But it's curious, you also have a star that's called a lonesome star. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you will be lonesome. It just means that maybe your desire to spend time with people is less, right? And the ox is already one of those animals that really likes spending time alone. And so, oh, actually, let me just go back, sorry, to the rat. The best and worst months are, best months for the rat, January past, April and August, or January coming, I guess, and then June, July, September are negative. Ox. Okay, so last year was all the pressure on you, and this year the tiger is in general your friend, and you're kind of in the middle of the group with opportunities for the year, but lots of your career should in general do well, and your relationships in general should do well, right? But stuff will come up that you need to look at for sure. Your best months this year, generally May, September, December, and the worst months, April, June, and July. But worst months to me, again, it's like, oh, they're just the months that show us what needs to change and what's not working. Work on your connections and relationships this year and explore new places and tasks. Health is wealth, like schedule medical checkups. The ox is also one of those because we call it a graveyard animal. Often medical issues you need blood tests, or they're not obvious. So it's a good year to get a medical checkup. Something might show up. But in general, it's not possible to just say by the animal if you're going to have a good or bad year. Get out of your shell, create connections, declare what's important to you and make a commitment towards it, because the luck is there this year for you to move forward and make that happen. Okay. And so there you have it. There's the 12 animals for the year. I know this is a bit long today, but I'm just going to briefly say with the flying stars, and that too is just in general for the year. If you're focusing on education, let's just do the ones for the year, right? But this month particularly too. There are always, if we divide our house into 9 sectors, there's some sectors, including the center, right? North, south, east, west. Some have different energies than others. And I am going to talk about this in more depth in the Change Your Space, Transform Your Life class. Okay? Because in that class, I'm going to bring your gua in, and then we'll see specifically how the different sectors relate to your gua. Because as much as I'd love to do this, we'd be here all day. But in general, southeast is creativity and learning and writing, and it could be romance, but I think to me it's more about growth. Okay, so the southeast sector of your house, this is where I'm actually sitting right now to do this live. Okay, I also want to say too, there are no negative sectors in how I look at it, even though there's this dreaded 5 for those of you, if you study with me, all the stars are actually interact with each of us individually and show opportunities. And sometimes we want to activate so-called negative stars. Like the 3 is called an argument star, but it's not arguments, it's negotiation. And if you don't know how to negotiate and communicate, maybe you need to sit in the 3, right? Which is in the east this year, okay? Like this year. The 8, yeah, it's a general good money-making star, and it's in the northeast, right? But it's a slow star. It's related to the mountain. So if you just want things to be good and in general feel good, sit in the northeast, right? The 2, which is considered a sickness star, is in the southwest. But the sickness star is actually, it's an earth star as well. It's really what it is. It's wrong to say it's sickness. It's stagnation. And if you're stuck in your life, the negative aspects of that will come up. But the 2 on the positive star is a huge wealth producing star and associated with real estate and assets and all that. And so you see, so southwest, yeah, good for assets. However, you might not feel well if you're using that sector, because it will bring and show you where you're stuck, stagnant, in your life. South though this year too, excellent location. The 9 is there, and the 9 is a multiplication star, and it's fire. And so too, if you can use the south, excellent energy. And north has the 1, and it's water, which is also very good. And but there's this dreaded thing called the 3 killings. You know, if you are a practitioner of feng shui, your job is not to be afraid of any of the influences. It's to learn how to work with them. You will hear stories of the advanced applications and working with things that they actually create breakthroughs. Are you ready for a breakthrough? Right? So when you understand, like then the 7 star becomes a star that we can use for breakthroughs. So I know I'm going to leave it at just saying to you, south this month is very good. The southeast this month is very good, and southwest has a special combination. It's very good this month. Those are the ones I would focus on if you're just looking for general things. How can you use them or focus them? Clean them, sit in them, face those directions. All right, I'm going to give you guys all a couple so-called activations. Okay, now my activations are somewhat different than some of the other teachers out there in a couple things. One is the activations are to focus, one, on connecting to the energy of fire in period 9, because it's the transformation energy, and to work with the energy of the year with fire. So the first one there is on February 18th, which is the Water Tiger Day in the Water Tiger month in the Water Tiger year at 3 to 5 in the morning is the Water Tiger hour. So the first thing on February 18th is to meditate between that 3 to 5 p.m. period, even if it's just for 10 minutes, and to connect to your soul as to why are you here? What is there to learn? How can you open your heart? Your angels and guides are there wanting to connect with you, to help you live and do better, to bring you the support that you need. Prayer is asking, meditation is listening. So part of this is learning how to actually get calm inside and connect so that you have no thoughts. Like to really manifest, like at the chi men levels and all those other things, when you're actually doing those so-called asks, you are in the place where yes, you can set the intention, but you know how to energetically get to the place of no thoughts. It will be easier on that day, February 18th, between 3 and 5 in the morning, and I'm going to do it specifically at 3:19 a.m. And you sit in the south sector and you face south. If you know how to specifically do the horse, you sit in south 2 and you face south 2. Okay, we're facing fire. That same day on February 18th at between 7 and 9 a.m., if you want to do a water activation, and this can be with a bucket of water, but this is a activation of where you have water and a pump inside the water, and the water on top is circulating clockwise. Okay, so it's moving the surface of the water. Of course, the larger the water, the better. And this only needs to be there for 2 hours. It's an activation. So if you're comfortable doing that, this is in the South 2 sector. Okay, South 2 sector. You can set up the water ahead of time. You turn it on then with the pump at 7:19 a.m. And then one last activation. The activation with water, by the way, at February 18th at 7 is for future wealth and success. Okay. Then March 3rd is a remove day, and the activation that day, it's another water activation, is to remove stagnation and procrastination from your, and so these activations, they're, to me, think of them like acupuncture. Okay. And so 3:33 a.m., again in South 2, the horse, right? We put a pail of water or a bucket of water or a garbage can of water. It doesn't have to be beautiful because this is not permanent. And you have the pump again, but now the water is circulate aggressive, we call it, but it's moving the surface up, right? So yeah, some of you are familiar with this. If not, don't worry about it. Okay. Now, this takes me to the last little bit here, okay? The full moon meditation is February 16th. So please do join us. This is a very, very special full moon meditation. Well, they're all special. And so if you haven't been there before, my goal is that they're an hour and a half long. And so typically I talk for about half an hour. Well, this one I'm going to talk for half an hour-ish. And I've invited my friend Agata Burdziak, who is a psychotherapist, but also practices shamanic practices. And she's an expert in family constellations and many things, to do a meditation, a guided meditation for us. And she's a powerful woman with incredible insight and healing abilities. And then we close with another good friend of mine, Yuko, if you've heard them before, doing a sound bowl meditation. So the purpose of the full moon meditations is full moon is for releasing, new moon is for manifesting. So when we use sound and meditation, particularly at the full moons, the vibrations and the words release what's buried in our subconscious. Okay, so very powerful work. You might cry, and really I would say the more you can cry and access your emotions during that time, great. So they're at 7 o'clock till 8:30, okay, is the next one. And then there's the class coming up on February 20th, the Transform Your Life, right? And so you want to take your life to the next level. Okay, are you prepared to take more action? Then we'll spend a whole day, 6 hours. It's live. It'll be recorded for those who register, but it will not be available afterwards for those to buy. Okay, so, and we'll have it on, online for a couple months for you, those of you who can't attend live. Declare what you want, right? Declutter. Here's my challenge to you, right? Declutter, make room, right? Take an action, because you can't just declare and take no action. Declutter might be, oh, you know where you might need to declutter, because this is for me, computer files, your photo files, right? Like your email files. And if you make room for new energy to come in, don't buy more memory. And then no, Tersa, you're just going to have to watch the video again, and when it's up on Facebook, and it'll be there for you. So I want to say this year we'll continue to offer reasons to separate and have fear. It is the years coming up will continue to offer that, because as we enter into age 9, if you know the trigram, it's 2 yang lines with a yin in the middle. The polarities are growing. But the answer is through the Tao and finding the middle way, right? And so what's happening is people are showing their true colors, who they are. Do you choose light or darkness, right? Do you separate and have fear, or do you choose love? So are you a friend? Are you compassionate, right? Are you the change? As we enter into period 9, more and more reasons to be a victim will occur. However, watch your words, right? Because we're contributing to this. Our energy is actually what's creating this world. Do you use the word winners and losers? Do you use the word war, right? Can you look at things differently? Be compassionate. If you have a strong reaction, it is a sign of something inside of yourself that you are projecting, and it is something that needs to be healed for you to find peace. What are your values? Gentleness? Do you value gentleness? Do you want people to treat you gently? Are you gentle? Do you want kindness? Are you kind? Do you want respect? Are you respectful? So the world is so beautiful because it'll show you by how the people are treating you where you need to grow. And if you could look at that way, your life will change. Tell yourself something wonderful is happening. If we wake up, I've got it on my mirror, right? Things, because I forget too. And yes, the time we're in right now takes courage. So with that, I thank you all. This is the longest one I've done yet, for your time and being here. And for those of you that watch this later, and my wish for you is a year where we work through our fear to our highest levels. And so I'm here for you. I'll be here every month. And so, yeah. Oh, and also, yeah, Lois, yeah, thanks, Carol. It's so sweet to see that. So make sure, if you're interested in studying with me more, to reach out through the website or to send us an email. Yeah, thank you. I'm blessed that you guys all come here and show up. And here's the thing, be the change, pass it forward. Manuela, lovely. Thank you. Lisa, Larissa. Yeah, thanks. You know, and thank you to Lois, my good friend and right-hand person here. You know, and so thank you. Yes, Lorna, you can rewatch this later. It's up on Facebook, so it's just there. So late, you just go back to this page later, and it's there. You just click on it. It should be, as soon as I end this, it'll show up live there for you to watch. Yeah, thank you, Claudia. Yeah. Yeah, hi, Melanie. And Jen, thank you. Yeah, we live in exciting times, you know. If you believe the world is friendly, it is. If you believe the world is not friendly, it is. Thanks, Lois. Great for posting that. Yeah, and this will also be up on YouTube, by the way, guys. We post all the ones later up on YouTube as well. And stay tuned. Soon I'll be doing more YouTube stuff where you know, just introductory Batsy and things like that. Yeah, thanks, Karen. Thanks, Larry. Thank you, all of you. Okay, I am going to go. Wishing you all a wonderful day and a wonderful month. Commitment.